Hello, friends. I would like to take a moment to talk about the concept of changing our perspective versus changing our life circumstances. I think it's important to talk about this because in the realm of spirituality, it has been told many times to me and to others, and I have told many people myself, that we can just change our mindsets about whatever it is that we're going through. Of course, intuitively, I also know that that's not always the case for every single situation. And we have to discriminate between different circumstances in our lives to say what circumstances we can change our mindset about and what circumstances we should address and actually change physically. I think it's important to be able to discriminate this because sometimes it's not enough to just sit here and tell yourself, how can I change how I feel about this? This is really bothering me, but how do I just change how I feel about it? Because sometimes you can't change how you feel about things. Sometimes things are the way they are and they're painful regardless of how many ways you morph your mental framework of it. And in which case, you really should then be looking at how do you change the circumstances? How do you change your life to change your feelings? There's a difference between changing your feelings to change your life and changing your life to change your feelings. And both are important in spiritual practice. Both are really necessary in order to transcend the circumstances of our lives. And we have to listen to our feelings. First and foremost, we have to listen to our intuition, to that guiding force within us that says this feels right or this feels wrong. And we also have to understand when it's appropriate to say, yes, I can change my mind about this. And when it's appropriate to say, I can't really change my mind about this. I need to change my life. In the past, I have, tried to tell people that the power of the mind and the power of thought is very useful. And it is. It certainly is. But it can only go so far. There comes a time where we have to stop denying the circumstances of our lives. We have to stop covering our eyes. We have to just uncover our eyes. Because your hands are still there. You know you're lying to yourself. You know. Stop lying to yourself. Know that your situation is not ideal, and perhaps it never will be, but you can always make small changes, or big changes, which will shift the dynamics of your circumstances to a point that your feelings can then change. But you have to be willing to look at what you're denying and to look at what you're avoiding. Because often if we try to change our feelings about things, that means we're probably putting our blinders on to something. And if we aren't putting our blinders on, then we're choosing to direct our attention to other aspects of the situation that aren't really helping to change the situation. And I think it's really important that we remember to change parts of our lives at times in order to reach where we want to go. Sometimes we don't know where we want to go, so that's not very helpful, but I think that at the end of the day, we have to accept that which we are denying if we want to see positive changes in both our lives and the way that we feel. I would say that toxic spirituality is often trying to teach people that it's really just a matter of your mindset and nothing more. And that's not exactly helpful for someone who is going through something tremendously painful or who is stuck in something that isn't very freeing for them. And we can change our feelings about things, but at some point we have to understand we have to change something about our lives to move forward with our feelings. And just don't deny your feelings. Your feelings are there to really teach you something, to really show you something. And if you are trying to say, I'm not sad, I'm not angry, I'm not upset, I'm not hurt, you're going to do yourself a disservice. If you don't face what you're feeling, you're going to keep facing the same stuff, the same circumstances that are bringing about the same feelings. I think intuitively, we probably all know this, right, to some level, some degree, but the question is then, what is your teachability index? And can you teach yourself? So, what is your willingness to learn and your willingness to accept change? First, you have to learn what the problem is and learn how you feel about it, and learn what options you have, both to change your mindset about it, but also to change your circumstances if the need is there. Your willingness to change is really important because a lot of us want to be comfortable. A lot of us want to feel safe. A lot of us want to hide. We want to deny and to, cover our eyes. And that really isn't going to get us very far, is it? We know this. So today I encourage you to take a look at the aspects of your life that you feel are damaging you somehow. And try to decipher, is it my feelings about this that are making me so sad or angry or upset? Or is it the fact that I'm not trying to change the circumstances of my life? And if we can honestly answer ourselves, if we can uncover our eyes and stop lying to ourselves, because we probably all are to some degree, I think that we'll come to some interesting revelations. I think that we'll see that as much as our mindset can be changed, there's a point where we have to be willing to change our lives. If we want to move forward, if we want to transform into a deeper feeling of love and appreciation. Sometimes we can't be grateful for everything in life because some things are really painful. We can't feel like everything is doing us a service and a lesson because, although it probably is, how much pain are we going to go through to learn these things? And is there a better way, a less painful way to transform, to learn, to grow? Or are our circumstances actually hindering us from the growth that we crave, from the transformation we crave, from the way that we crave to be ourselves? For example, if someone is biting your arm, that's going to hurt. Doesn't matter how you try to look at it, right? Oh, like that's pleasurable? No, it hurts. And so you got to pry that person off, or you got to take it and get a bite mark. Which would you rather? And, as powerful as it can be to say, yeah, that feels kind of good, it doesn't really change the fact you're going to get a bite mark. And we really have to pay attention to our hearts, pay attention to our minds as well, but never forget your feelings. Never forget that heart feeling, because it's telling you something. And if you can change that, that's great. If you feel like the circumstances in your life are not adding up to a point where you can change your feelings, you have to change your life. There is no other way. Blessings, peace, love, light, and empathy to all of you.